Hey guys, how's it going? March 24th, 2023. Don't get too excited. I'm actually into Run8 here just to relax a little bit. And I'll just mute the microphone a tiny bit before I get into this. But I actually haven't been on this route very much, but I haven't had a snack yet. So I will be kind and mute my chopping here. There we go. I wanted to start off at one end. Of course, this is going to be the noisy end. Like I said, I haven't run this road. So between me chomping my gums here and all these level crossings. Ah, man. Like the Amtrak stations. Oh my god. It's going to be a while, isn't it? I should have started in the mountains somewhere. So don't get too excited. I'm just in this for a background. Holy crap, there's a lot of trains out there. Okay. Got some whistleboards still going on.
UP detector milepost.
Yeah.
110.9 track 2.
I figured I'd do that for a background, but anyways, so not too much on a Friday night. Normally I'm on a Saturday night, but my schedule has been changing quite a bit. So I just got finished watching, I don't know what the hell that is down there. Looked like a branch line or something, but I just got finished watching a preseason Toronto Blue Jays game. So the next couple of nights they're actually playing evening games. They've been playing afternoon games, so that kind of changed my schedule up this week. Plus wrestling's on Saturday, which schedule's going to be all over the place. So I'm still in Derail Valley as my main go-to. That's not necessarily going to change, but I'll leave that up to people to decide, because I've been getting a lot of different comments from various people, which is fine. I got Derail Valley right now to keep me busy for a while. The reason why I don't run this often, and I've never got a chance to actually run the mainline route. I mean, I've had the opportunity to. I could easily take a train and run it. That's not the point. I'll let him honk here. I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be a nice peaceful ride up in the mountains. I thought, no, you got to get out of the city first. But the reason, I mean, I have the opportunity to. I could easily take a train and run it. That's not the point. The reason why I don't run this often, and I've never got a chance to actually run the mainline route. I mean, I've had the opportunity to. I could easily take a train and run it. That's not the point. why I haven't been able to run, at least the way I ran things, was that I was running a full schedule, 24 hour straight through to the next day operation where I was responsible for all the switching. And I was going to wait and see what happened. I was on for a Saturday night. I gave it plenty of notice, at least I thought I did, and there was no takers.
No defense. Total axles 450. Train speed 38 mph. Ambient temperature
Yeah.
54 degrees. UP detector out.
Okay. But, so the reason, I'm trying to run all the switching now. At some point, I was hoping to actually get into a train and run a main line, and that really never happened. I was stuck in the yards. I think I only had the server on a couple times, and a couple people tested it. Other than that, nobody really wanted to run it or was interested in running it, or running any other switching jobs, so it was just me. And that wasn't good enough. So I didn't realize this one was so noisy. Like I said, I haven't been in a train on this. I just been stuck in the yards. So Derail Valley, what strength it has, surprisingly to me, is it has the ability to not only switch and do the operations, but take a mainline train out for an hour or whatever. However, it is condensed. It's a lot more condensed than what you would see in a real world like this. You don't get this far out. I mean, you get great scenery, don't get me wrong. You get some really good scenery. But you don't get a huge run for hours on an end, or complex industries. You're basically stuck with yards that are kind of uniform for the most part. Some of they're all different, but you're limited to the number of tracks you have, so you don't really get the feel of a big railroad. That's not the end of the world, because after all, I'm looking at Railroader right now. Whenever that comes out now, Railroader seems to be all the screenshots they show are just steam, because that's all they like is steam, I guess. Now I know they have a diesel. Thankfully, they have a diesel. If they didn't have a diesel and they weren't a what do you call it? A transition era type thing. I don't know how many diesels they have, which is interesting, but it's not. It doesn't really matter to me, because the moment I get to run diesel and that, I'm going to run diesel. I'm not into running steam. So that's just, it's just much more manageable for me to run, and more enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to it, because it's based on a real railroad. I don't mind proto-lancing and freelancing. There's nothing wrong with that. See, I'm getting to see these tunnels here now, which is something that I wanted to see. I already seen the cityscape with the roads and all that other stuff. Now, of course, I'm doing this from within the cab, so, but like from the cab, this looks really, really nice. So of course, Run8, they oops. I don't know what happened there. Okay. There's nothing wrong with Run8 the way it is. Run8 does exactly what it's supposed to do, as far as I'm concerned. But there was a time where, Run8 was all new. So being able to just get a train and pick it up and make a have a switch list in RTS or whatever and go someplace, you could go ahead and do that. But eventually, and I mean, you always had, back then you still had enough people that were playing multiplayer, so trains actually moved. Eventually, the popularity amongst at least the RTS server dwindled as, there was more servers doing more things. And then you were kind of competing with other servers. This was back in the early days. And I welcome the idea of AI, because what AI I knew was going to do was it was going to slowly level the playing field so that people could run trains and have plenty of operations and all that other stuff. But it only goes so far. If you're running something like this isn't the amount of trains that run on here is actually fairly low compared to the Transcon. So you can actually run this with a relatively low crew rate and still be able to have like, say, for example, you had a group of people, like, say, 6 people, for example. If you had 6 people and you can agree ahead of time to, meet at certain times or whatever, this is where it gets a little juicy. Or dicey, I should say, not juicy. Is running a 24/7 server, despite the fact that I came up with the first 24/7 server. I mean, one day later, it wouldn't matter if I came up with it or not. One day later, Dams had their 24/7 server up. So whether they got their idea from me or not, I mean, I got the, I know I got the, what do you call it? The Anarchy. They were the first ones to do the Anarchy. And at first I thought Anarchy would never work. And they showed that, oh yeah, it works. So it was, it was really cool. And it, like, you had the Anarchy, you had the 24/7. The 24/7 is great for people who just come on. The problem is it's horrible to run an operation, because now you're stuck in a situation where you have to have people fill in those positions. You have to have somebody who's able to switch them. If not, then you rely on what I call a slow clock. It's the exact opposite of a fast clock. Hey, Bob. Ah, Scott, you made it. Glad you woke up from your nap. Or whatever the hell you were doing. But I think, and Scott's here, and I think Scott, I don't want to speak for Scott too much, and I'll let him reply to his own. Like, Scott's grown tired of a lot of these things, and I don't know if it's maybe it's the fact that we're not getting any younger. None of us are. I mean, he's further along than me, but I'm still feeling it. I'm 50 this year. I guess I'm a little chick compared to him, I guess, but still, I mean, I'm feeling it. And my time's valuable, and I don't want to just run by myself if I'm going to set up something, and that's the fear. That's always been the fear. So why Derail Valley applies to me right now, and it's grown a little tiresome. Ever since I came back from vacation, it grew tiresome because it's kind of lonely. You're just by yourself. You're running the entire railroad, and it's great. And it's not really prototypical because it's not really based on any prototypes. So for all you know, you're the only guy that runs it. But then there's a lot of jobs and there's a lot of other things, and you think to yourself, you would think that there's more than one train that'd be running all those jobs, considering all the trains that are available to run. So they don't have any dwell times. That's something I wish they did have, is dwell times. Be nice, but I don't think they're thinking that way. They're thinking, how many trains can we make available so there's plenty of variety. And I think variety is great, but at the same time I also like structure. Looks like we're holding up for something up here. Oh no. Just cruising along. Like, I don't know what save file I put in, but my god. He's still going. We got some other trains in there. I don't know how many trains are going to get stuck. An Amtrak just sitting around doing nothing, I think. But, I'll take a look around here. Looks like real trees to me. Alright, I'll get back in. Well, I forgot it had that mode. That was something new that they put in, didn't they? I think I'll go for that for a while. That's kind of cool. Oh, but yeah, it beats being in the box there. Anyways, up to 4 viewers right now, but so I mean, here's what my schedule's looking like. I can tell you basically. It used to be where, okay, Saturday nights would be the time that I was really available. It's going to change a lot. Now I could tell you as far in advance as I possibly can, tell you what times I'm going to have available. And I don't mind posting my availability schedule. But what I want to see from the community, I don't care if it's Northern California, I don't care what route it is. If you want to do Run8, then you guys have to let me know. And pick an area. Let me know what areas you like. Because my idea was that Northern California isn't that popular for some reason. Maybe Southern California is. Now, here's the problem. And this applies to Run8. I'm going to talk about other things too. We're gonna touch in a lot of bases here tonight. You should have a yellow. Ah, I can zoom in. Okay. Looks red to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Or am I seeing red over yellow or red over flashing yellow? Why is that signal red? This is my train here. I haven't passed Newcastle as far as I know. But yet well, that's weird. So it didn't show a yellow light, but it showed a green light? Was I seeing the same thing you guys were seeing? Maybe it's because that's the next signal right down there? Nope. Like I said, I don't know what the hell's here. I'm just along for the ride. Beautiful route. Like I said, I haven't got to like really run it and take a look. Obviously, I've scrolled through it, you know, fairly quickly or whatever. I love the highways. I mean, this looks nice and alive, really. Bakersfield looks pretty good, too. So that's another sub that I'm interested in. I haven't run that yet. So those are all new to me. Of course, there's the original Mojave Needles. But the thing that I want to be clear about, whoa, is I don't want to run the whole route. Grounded. I don't know what. I don't know how to get out of that now. I'm stuck somewhere. Do I go 1, 2, 3? I keep hitting 4, but because I'm not driving the train, it's kind of stuck in it now. Maybe that's a bad view then. How do you get back into it then? Oh, here we go. It's okay. What happened to the other I gotta go back in here. So there's the orbiting, grounded. See, how do you get back to the orbiting? Or can you? I'm trying. That's kind of weird that you can't get back out of it.
milepost 1.
Sorry, I'm
0.6
got all distracted by that. Some of these things I haven't even tried yet. Here, I'm just gonna go inside. That's good enough. Good enough for now. Let me check the chat before I get back into. Look at that cardboard. But so yeah, I ideally like to run a switching district. If there's enough people to run one switching district, then perhaps you have a switching district that's next door. What I mean by a switching district is, let's use the Mojave sub. Okay, so that's probably a bad example because that line is so friggin' busy. But the switching district, okay, we'll use that. We'll go ahead and we'll use that. Actually, I was thinking Bakersfield, but no. Let's go and one switching district. So one switching district, for example, a good one is the UP Mojave. So what that switching district would do is it could potentially serve Lone Pine, Oak Creek, although I don't have Lone Pine. It's something I would consider if it gives me more industries, but I don't think it does as far as the actual UP switchers. I think all the UP switchers simply run what's already on the line. I could be wrong. Scott might know about that one, but Oak Creek's definitely one that UP runs. Now let's say you don't have Oak Creek. Okay, well then somebody who runs the Oak Creek local would have to have that industry to run it. But you can still run the Mojave Flyer. You can still run the Tehachapi switcher. You can still run the yard. Plus, you can run the main lines. Now, when you run a switching district, you're not running the entire map. You're not running all the way up to Bakersfield. In theory, you could run the main lines up to and including Bakersfield if you want to. There's no reason why you can't spawn trains out of Bakersfield, but you wouldn't be building trains out of Bakersfield. So what would end up happening is your focus would be surrounded to make sure that Mojave operates properly within 24 hours. That's something that's very easily manageable. Not on a 24/7 server, but a server that comes online at a certain specific time, runs for a certain number of hours. You have a schedule well in advance, you know when it's happening, and it's, quite frankly, it was how we used to run servers. It seems like it's a lost art now because you don't see it, because everybody's all used to the 24/7 servers. And I think the 24/7 servers have kind of pushed it away from that running of an operation to just, here's your train, go ahead. I don't care who you are, honestly. You could be, a special operations group or whatever the hell you want to call it, or a special server that is very popular and likes operations, or another group that just likes to run trains. Whatever the case may be, you're not going to get it any close to the prototypical than you're going to come to being able to run a switching district, run it effectively, and give yourself a limitation on the region. The problem is most people don't want that limitation. So, perfect example. I'll let him honk for a second. Beautiful scenery on this route. It's one of probably the most beautiful California route I've seen. It's too bad it's not very popular for some reason, but so for example, you got UP Mojave. You get they run all the switchers like I said before. You run at a certain time. If you had, say, Bakersfield, but you were running based out of UP Mojave, you may not be inclined to run on a server because you like to run on Bakersfield as well as Mojave. Or let's say you like Cajon. A lot of people like Cajon. Or you like running in Barstow. Well, you're not going to run those things if you're running based out of Mojave. And a lot of people don't think that way. I do. The reason why I do is because we don't have AI switching. In order to get all the jobs done, you have to focus on that switching district first. Once you can handle the switching district and you have more than enough people to be able to do other districts, then you can start adding to it. But you have to have a reliable a number of people that you can count on various days or times or whatever. Now, what complicates things for me is, as I said, in the winter, I didn't have to worry about it. Saturday nights was always a great time to run a session. 9 o'clock come along, boom, I could run it. All of a sudden tonight, we've got 2 evening games of baseball. Now, why this year all of a sudden I'm interested in baseball, for those that don't know about baseball or whatever, they got this clock in here and it's really sped up the games so far. And I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. Whereas before I used to watch the what they call the Blue Jays in 30, which was basically they would show you the entire game within 30 minutes. But it's a lot different. I enjoy watching a full game, especially when it gets important. Well, this year I'm going to try something different, and that is I want to follow each and every out. I want to see how everybody's doing. I don't want things to skip. I want to see the plays. I want to see how a certain person's batting, even if they're not making a big hit or whatever. I just I want to be able to watch my team and see them grow, or see them fail or whatever. It's part of the drama that goes with it. And I intend on watching every Blue Jays game this year as much as possible. So that right there changes things, because a lot of weekly games will be in prime time, 7 to 10. That's going to take me out. It's going to take me out quite a bit. I'm going to have time on weekends at certain times, but of course I have my son. I could work around it though. I'll know the schedule well enough in advance to see if there's interest, and then we can have these special occasions where we go ahead and we run a system, or we run something up, we set it up, do whatever, and see how it goes. But running a full route and just putting trains out there for the sake of doing it, and never, I'm not into that. I'm not into just setting it up just to run trains. I want the purpose to build to the next one. So I can tell you right now, and I knew tonight I had time. I knew like right at 9 o'clock on a weekend. It's not actually so bad, because when the games start at 7, or sorry, they started at 6 tonight. But if they were to start at 7, I could still start a session at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. So it's not that bad. And I can go with there, and if things are running later for whatever reason or they're in extra innings, I'll just let you guys know, hey, I'm waiting a few minutes until this game's over. And it's going to take priority over the session. And it'll take priority over the session until I find the sessions become a priority. And right now they're not. Nothing multiplayer is a priority for me. Because I've been there. It just most people aren't interested in it. They don't want to get organized. They don't want to do anything. I've been through this before. I've tried it. And people can say I give up too easy, whatever they want to say. I don't care. That's what I'm missing. That's what I want. If that can happen, then it's possible. I can also tell you right now, it may not be Run8. It could be Railroader. Railroader has a lot of potential. It also has multiplayer. And it's built right in. So, one way or another, I'm going to get my time in. I'm going to get my fix. And, one way or another, but it's up to people and to see what they want to do. I can only offer various dates and times and say, I can look far in advance and plan it in advance. We could try it that way. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm willing to try, if that works, and if it's something like in advance, and I plan it well in advance, and to make it a type of event type thing. I've never really been to those because I used to like to run quite a bit during the week, but perhaps doing it that way might work too. The only problem is you're never going to get through. You're never going to get through a work day or whatever, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But I may have a possibility of. Well, Friday nights are bad for me. Saturday nights are the thing. Friday nights ain't going to work usually. The only reason why I'm on tonight is because wrestling's going on a Saturday this week for some stupid reason. That could change. A lot of things could change, but anyways, let me check the chat. Not much going on. It's got 3 viewers. So, welcome to my world. But it's too bad. And perhaps perhaps I gave up enough times that it drove away people. I still seem to get viewers on my channels. I get people who ask all the time, and it's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do to try to say, okay, do you want to do this or not? So, I'm just putting it out there. Because I can't do it with Derail Valley. As much as I love Derail Valley, I can't do the multiplayer because multiplayer ain't part of it. And that's kind of missing. I've noticed that part's missing. I don't know what that noise was, but that was cool. Looks like we're following an Amtrak? Oh, the Amtrak was going the other way. It looks like a log jam up there. Yeah, Bowman. Find... What's that? He's broken up there. Find, okay. Let me just see this. At Norton. Which one? You see that again? Oh, I just want to see your chat again. Modesto. Okay, so that's the other guy. Oh, I see what you mean. Got too many long trains in here, that's why. Let's see, which one do I want to get rid of? Yeah, this is probably one of those busy ones. Alright, we'll see how that goes. Oh, I'm missing something here. Am I going the wrong way? Probably. Oh, he's under the tunnel, huh? That's cool. Or is that just the cars? That's cool. That was a train. My God, where is this train? There he is. That wasn't the one I was using, was it? Maybe it was. I don't know. Cool, see? Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. I know what you mean. I don't know what this save is. I just threw one in. Way too many trains on that one. I don't have any other saves other than night, and I didn't really want to do that, so. I'm just looking to see if there's anybody else at the moment. Holy crap, that's way too many trains. Oh, you can't sort through train sim? That sucks. Yep, there goes my train. Look how many friggin' ONP trains there were in this one. I don't know who had this. This is ridiculous. Obviously, it's not supposed to have that many trains. It's using my calls too, which means there's no way there would be that many trains coming in now. Let's see how that makes it. Still way too many, but well, at least that should get the traffic through. I think I had the Z train anyways. Yeah, so it was on the right track. Let's go this way. Through the tunnel. I'll let the clock go for a bit. I'm only going to be on until midnight anyways, so. Oh boy. Of course I missed it. Now we'll try one of these here. Oh, that didn't work very well. There we go. You idiot. Missed it. Try this again. There we go. All right. I should fix that a bit. Yeah. I got him now, so. Hey, Bill. But yeah, anyways, so what I might do, just to see what kind of interest there is down the road, is kind of take a look at the baseball schedule, take a look at what other things I have going on, and then try to come up with some potential dates. Like, first I want to see what it is people are looking to play. Now, obviously, Railroads Online, you don't need that. The reason why Railroads Online, sorry, wrong one. SimRail. The reason why SimRail works good for 24, at least at the moment, is because everything is automated pretty good, and there's really no switching operations, although that's supposedly coming. I haven't paid attention to that for a while. So there's really no organization required. You just go on. So if you ever want a multiplayer type thing, you can do that. I'm more into the North American prior to PCR type. Like anything from I would say the transition era beyond. As long as I get to run some diesels, I don't care. I don't mind steam engines, I just prefer not to use them. There we go. But I'll probably create another channel on my Discord, and I will look at dates coming up. We'll start with, actually, I'm not too sure about the dates part yet. As I was saying, number one, the simulator. So the only simulator that I see that can do the multiplayer at the moment is Run8. That's the only one that does it. I mean, yeah, I know Open Rails can do it. I don't have Open Rails. I don't want Open Rails. I'm not interested in that. It's just not for me. So I was asked recently, and I've mentioned this on my Discord, I was asked whether or not I'm interested in a server that might be started through TrainSim. My response to them was no. And I stand by that response because that's probably going to be a 24/7 server as far as I can tell. That's what they were saying. Most servers, when they say they're going to put a server up, usually means they're going to put a 24/7 server up. It's the standard now. I've belonged to servers in the past. I've had the former RTS servers. They all run 24/7. So it's not really, this thing doesn't stay with the orbit, it just kind of stays with the one heading and says, here you go. Kind of cool if it floated with the, well, there's ways of making it float with the train, but see how close I can get. Probably not. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, I'm gonna. This is requiring too much attention. Holy crap. Let's just go in the cab, and I got a better way. Little fixes to it. Takes a while to move in this, though. That's the only problem. But at least it sets up the camera pretty good. I should have got on the back engine and just... that's okay. I'm literally holding the down button and getting him to do that. That's okay. It's just a little noisy. I'm trying to get it away from the engines, but unfortunately it's going to take forever. I'll hold on to it for a few minutes. There might be another way. I wonder if I can grab onto a car. Nope. Only the cab views work that way. The last thing I can do is try to... There we go. And it ain't moving. Oh, that works. Would have put me put me in the second unit. Well, at least it's further on. Oof. What the hell is that? Oh, okay, that was just something that was just sitting there, I guess. Oh, I wish there was a quicker way of doing this. I'm sure there is, but... Let me see how it orbits. My guess is it's going to orbit properly, the way I want it to orbit. But we'll see at the curve. Love the stations in this. I want the third engine. I don't have the patience for that. I should have just stuck with it. Alright, screw it. Let's just watch the train go by. I'll check the chat here for a minute. Oh yeah, cool. Well, it's really nice scenery. Let me try the third engine here. All right. See how it goes with it? This is why I like this particular orbit better. Because it rides with the engine. I've always liked this orbit better. See, and then you can, it's basically like being in the cab, but it's a cheat. Because what the orbiting camera will do is it'll stick on one heading. This one actually lets you ride it. And I cannot get it from any other view, I find. Right now I'm inverted because I'm looking out the engine, looking the other way. So the left key is going right, and okay, green light. It's not too bad. Just want to go a little bit further. That's not bad. I'll get to the first couple of trucks of first intermodal, and that'll be fine. There we go. That works. Hey, Robert. Oh, yeah. Well, that's cool. I haven't seen too much of Update 5 other than checking it out or trying it out with some of the things or whatever, but it's a beautiful route, and I mean, I love the cars. I mean, the highways, they look and feel like highways right now. But anybody bitching about this scenery, I mean, whatever. You can't please them. Yeah, I like this. I prefer to do this view as opposed to the orbiting. If I'm going to ride a train, that is. But, yeah, getting back to what I was saying, though. So, one thing, I know I've added 2 people now that have... I had somebody in a comment on... And I get comments all the time from older videos. And somebody had said that they'd like to run with me. And that they would have to get this route. That makes me very... Number one, it doesn't make me nervous. I'm not their mummy. I mean, if they want to buy a route, buyer beware. Buy it for yourself, first of all. Buy it because you like it. I bought it because I like it. I barely touched this, but I bought it because of the opportunity, and it's a fun route, and it's a good looking route. But I haven't really done too much more Run8 since I bought it, and that was because I was in a transition phase already. So I was already, as far as patience, losing it. So I have tried for a long time to try and get the right route, the right condition, the right whatever it is. I don't care. If it's a route I don't even have and you guys think it's good enough, like the latest route that just came out for what do you have, Fitzgerald sub. I've seen it. It looks pretty damn good, but I haven't bought it. And the reason why I won't buy any other routes right now is because for the way I like to play, I mean, this is great going in here tonight, doing a live stream and seeing great scenery and basically being a virtual rail fan. I think it's awesome. But for me to go in and actually run and be... Okay, how do you say this? You have a model railroad club, okay? And this is the best example I can give. So you have a model railroad club where you have various positions that are up. Most cases, people may be familiar enough to do most positions, not all necessarily. They have their favorites, but they also have other things that they like to do because, they want to have variety, or sometimes they're not going to get the position they want, and, that's the way. Like, for example, I used to like to be the Romford operator. I used to like to go in and basically sit in the hole and run Toronto. So all it was a staging yard, and I got to be the dispatcher or the operator at Romford. So that was fine with me. I was secluded in my little hole. People would come around every now and then to say hi, and that was it. Otherwise, I'm out there and I'm socializing with everybody, and I really don't feel like doing that. I like to have my independent time. I'm more of a I'm more, what the hell is it? I don't know the word. There's a word. There's a word where you're outgoing and a transvert. I don't know what the frick it is. I can't think of it right now. It's old age, brain damage, who knows. But, so I tend to I mean, I'm very sociable. I'm very talkable. I can get into very in-depth conversations, and I certainly love being able to be into a multiplayer community. My choices out there right now is to go to, say, a server that's a 24/7 server, and they may have whatever jobs, but I like to look at the big picture. So, like macro level type stuff. I like to look and see what systems are being run. Are we just running trains for the sake of running them? Kind of like what we're doing right now. Which is okay for tonight because I don't care. I'm just along for the ride. I'm not going to save this. I'm not going to do anything with this. We're deleting trains left and right. I don't care. This isn't part of a save or anything. My last save was in the middle of the night, so I didn't feel like doing anything. I probably could have used it, but probably would have been more realistic train levels, but oh well. This one works out pretty good. So yeah, just running on a server like that, and a lot of times some of the more operating servers too, they have specific jobs, so you don't have a huge variety. There's only a limited number of jobs that are available other than running mainline trains. And the mainline trains are kind of useless. This is why I like smaller regions sometimes, because the trains are more, like, especially trains that serve a lot of the yards and do a lot of work in between. It's hard to do that with AI. Because you don't have the AI switching component. That's something, hopefully one day Run8 will come up with that. I'm not saying they will or they won't. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it is what it is. If you get a group of like-minded people, though, you don't need the AI switching, because then you have a group that can run a small region. And they have to be like-minded to the point where they don't care about running on a certain night, a certain route, and be limited to a certain section of a route. They'll have plenty of different jobs they can run, switching jobs or mainline jobs or whatever. But I find with a lot of these routes, the mainline jobs really aren't that meaningful anyways. They're just eye candy. They're just extra, what we're doing right now. This is eye candy. Sure, it has a purpose somewhere, but it's going to go a hell of a lot further than this. I think this one's going, North Platte? I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. I might have been thinking about the other one too. Not too sure with that. Los Angeles to, I don't know what TM is. Somebody will tell me. Woo! Well, I'm back today. I'm not, like I said, I'm contemplating going back into it once in a while. Yeah. Fitzgerald has issues. Introvert, yeah, extrovert and introvert, yeah, I'm introverted. No. Well, the thing with AI switching and getting it to work, I mean, it's just another thing you have to set up, unfortunately, but it's a lot more worthwhile. The way I look for AI switching, and yes, the good thing is you only have so many routes out there, so that's a good thing. But AI switching can play just like how you have your industry database.
UP detector milepost 148.9 track 1.
So the industry database or the industry editor, as it is, can also. And I used to use them for fake industries. I actually used them for occupancy detection, so I could report it. Into the Excel file and generate what tracks certain trains are on, all kinds of goofy things like that. But having the ability to assign tracks that would be used for storage. So you would have your industry tags, which obviously it already knows where those industries have to be set off. So it knows well enough. It would know well enough where those locations are and how to handle. If it knows the AI dispatching enough, it knows how to route. But then you would need to assign basically all the yards would have to be set up for a similar, like an industry editor, except it would be like a storage editor or a yard editor. Oh, here we go. Finally got our first meet. Well, first meet that we've seen. Cool. Of course, I don't have those cars, whatever they are. But so yeah, you have that, and then it wouldn't take too much. I don't think it would take too much logic, the way I see it, but. I mean, as far as the logic, as far as the programming side of things, I can kind of figure it out. I can do it in pseudocode and say, here it is. How Run8 does it, I don't know how Run8 does the dispatching system, so it's hard for me to say, how they would do it. But if they can do the dispatching, then the next step, I think, would logically be that. Whether or not they do it, who knows? There's got to be a demand for those things, and I don't think there is. I don't think there's a demand for anything. This is just me. This is just the way I want to run.
UP detector milepost 148.9 track 1. No defects. No defects. Total axles 442. Train speed 23 mph. Ambient temperature 54 degrees. UP detector out. UP detector
I knew that was coming.
148.9 track 2.
So most of the people who run are fine with just taking a train and running it, or just taking a job and switching it, or whatever. That's fine. I like to see the progression. That's one thing I like about Derail Valley is watching the progression. Now, I granted you need some mods for that, but you can see how things progress. And that's something I'm still doing. I kind of fell away from it this past week because I just came back from vacation, and the real world's much better than simulated world. I'll tell you that right now. But you can't be on vacation all the time and make money, so that's just that is the way the real world works, and what that ends up meaning, you're going to be having to go to work that next weekday, and you're going to have this amount of time that you may have available at some point, and you got to decide what are you going to do with it. I'm fortunate enough, I'm coming into a season now that is going to be a long season. The weather gets better, you get to do a lot of things on the weekends and all that other stuff, so I'm not worried about it. So this isn't now the patience level that I was impatient from before, because I had some extra time on my hands, is slowly drying up now. So now it's not like, okay, well, I want to do this so many times a week and see if I can do it, and get people together on a Saturday night and all this other stuff. Now it's not about that. Now it's about more long-term planning, which potentially could see some interest. But like I said before, the dates that are available, at least for me to host, and the other thing, the other possibility too, with this kind of system that I'm thinking of, you could choose. I think you have to, first and foremost, you got to choose what region you like, what region most people want to run. Pick an area that they like. Stick with it. Work the system. Get people, and this is how it's worked before with RTS, with Run8. When I've had people, they had their favorite positions, but they could do other positions. Sometimes they were specialized in certain particular yards or whatever, but pick with the positions you like, and then you just go with it. And if you can't make it, well, then somebody else has got to fill in. But and if you don't have any work to do because that's all the work there is, there's still other jobs out there that need to be done. So, or you can just rail fan, or you don't necessarily have to run all the time as well too. But I think choosing the region's important first, or choosing the regions you like. So I will start what I'll do is I'm going to start a section. I'm not giving up.
UP detector.
God damn that thing.
148.9. Track 2. No defects. No defects. Total axles 450. Train speed 23 mph. Ambient temperature 54 degrees. UP detector out. So
yeah, the I don't know what the hell I was saying because that stupid detector went off. Now the horn. Man, I thought it was peaceful up here. So yeah, you pick a region. What I'll do is I will on Discord I will start another channel, and we'll do some brainstorming, and we'll see what people are interested in, what, if anybody's interested. I get a lot of hits on old videos. I get a lot of subscribes on old videos. So, it's kind of weird because what's happening is some of my old Discord links, there's people who are trying to get on my Discord and can't because they have old links to my Discord and it's not working. I fixed that. Unfortunately, a lot of those older videos are the ones that get hits on. I get videos over, I got over 10 years of videos, so I get hit on all kinds of crazy stuff. I get posts as if I was there yesterday and it was 5 years ago. You know, well, how did you get that to work? I was just like, I don't know. It was like 5 years ago. But Derail Valley is still my single player go to. It'll always be there for me if you want, and I got other things I can do as well. There's tons of other things that are out there on my hard drive that I can go for. Railroader is something I'm looking forward to, and I may switch over to Railroader, or at least try to, and see what interest lies there, because in that case, then we know Railroader, we know what has to be done. We know what there is, what switching jobs need to be done. It actually runs a modified fast clock. So it's not quite like a model railroad, but it's because it's prototype. But it actually has the passage of time goes by a little bit quicker. So it actually makes up for in between, so that the next day, the switching and the lull times and all that other stuff, it allows time to progress a lot better. And I think you'll be able to adjust that and all that. And they've expanded the region to be a little bit larger as well. So just take a look at the dispatch board, see how we're doing here. Yeah, we're behind somebody. Hard to tell how far behind though. I'll wait for the next signal. Not many meets on here other than passing meets, I find. I like meets. I like single track territories. I tend to like them over double track personally. Just waiting for that next signal, because I'm following somebody. That Amtrak that I was there, I don't know what the hell happened to that. Must have been Amtrak 6. Well, he took off. That was no, that can't have been 5. 5's going west. Well, there's one train that's waiting. Okay, I got a flasher. SoCal would be a nightmare. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. The problem with trains, and my son's really into trains. The problem with trains is it's more command script based than it is fluid AI. So when you're going through and you're actually, like, I've seen it. It does some things pretty good, but then other things it's you're basically command prompting everything instead of for it to think by itself. It doesn't. I mean, you literally have to tell it what to do. So it's not really AI. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I find Run8's AI is actually Auto is much more automated, so it can perform. Now, is its performance better than trains? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. My son, he is big into trains, but he likes developing the routes. Trains, I think, has a multiplayer as well. I'd have to talk to him about, the AI side of things. He would probably know more about that than I do. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him tomorrow over the weekend. He can give me the scoop on that. Anyways, just gonna take a break for a minute. Oh man, this chair is garbage. Be right back.
Detector, milepost 154.4, track 2.
Oh man. Actually, I'm just gonna grab a drink before I get settled again. Scott's been pretty quiet. I don't know, Scott, you still around? Did you fall asleep on us? What's it called? Noesis? See, I'm kind of interested in particular game engines as well. And the reason why I say that too is because I'll take the Derail Valley for example. So Derail Valley, it's got I mean it's got a good system, but it lacks multiplayer. If it had multiplayer, that thing would be well, actually, it lacks two things. It lacks multiplayer, also lacks AI. And it's not really built for AI. It's not built that way. It's not built. It's built to say, here's all the things that you could possibly do. Go out and do them. So it's not about train meets or anything like that. So I've heard about AI potentially and all this other stuff. There's a lot of other things that is on the pipe before that that's coming. Improvements into the actual way the trains run. It's all kinds of stuff. There's like 2 videos out for it right now. And it's coming soon. It's coming this quarter. In fact, it should be here anytime, really. Considering we're almost at the end of the that first quarter, as far as I know, it's supposed to be first quarter. Railroad has been pushed back to any time this year, probably later than sooner.
UP detector milepost 154.4 track 2 no defects, no defects, total axles 450, train speed 23 mph, ambient temperature 51 degrees, UP detector out.
Still on flashers. So, yeah, so it doesn't have AI, it doesn't have the other, but it's not really built for that anyways. It's built entirely different. The problem, like what happens with me, I find, is I think Scott's the same way. You can only play it so much. And then things kind of repeat themselves. They need mods to do to really take advantage, because they don't really have world saves like Run8 does. Run8's got the best world saves out there, period. I think Railroader is going to be it doesn't. One thing about Railroader is it's not going to have AI. So you're going to be stuck with either yourself or yourself and a group of friends being able to run. Now all these multiplayer things will have one thing that's possible, especially when you have a functioning group of people who may have others that are willing to host on nights, like say for example, so I'm going to have limited days that it's available. I'll know well in advance what days I have available. I can post those days, I can say, you know, who's interested, and If I have interest, I'll do it. If I don't, then I'll postpone it. I'll go do something else. You know, like as far as, like for example, I go right back to the whole Model Railroad Club thing. Model Railroad Club has a limited. It requires a minimum number of operators. If they don't have those, they cancel the session. So that I think is going to come into play. But the other thing that could happen is during those gaps, like say for example, and I think we've tried this before at one point, I recall, I can easily take the world saves or have all the settings saved between various participants who are interested in hosting and just as easily transfer over a save file and say, here's the update save file from the last session. You know, you're all set for Tuesday or tomorrow or whenever, and we could play it that way. But it's not going to appeal to everybody. I think Northern California is a good one because you know it's something that right now it's not connected to anything. It will eventually. You know damn well they're going to connect it. They're just going to join it up to the whole damn thing, and you know it's just going to be one giant thing. I've already heard. As far as Florida, that you know, Florida's going to expand, by the sounds of it. At least that's the idea that I got from the post that I saw from Jason about expanding or something like that, or it's just getting started or something like that, or I don't know what. So obviously, they have their streams of income that they want to produce, so that's how they do it. I still think all the time about being able to program or do certain things. I think it's a confidence thing. It's not, at this point, I have that self-doubt to say, okay, I got to work all day. It's tough, you only have so much free time, like vacation time. I mean, yeah, okay, I get 3 weeks a year, that's cool. But, I mean, I just got over vacation. You really feel it after you get over that vacation and you realize, okay, well, that's done. And I don't mind my job. I mean, if they didn't pay me, I wouldn't do it, but so you start feeling it, and that's when you come back and just like, okay, well, we're back into the regular grind type thing, and I'd much prefer reality over simulation. I would much rather travel and be able to afford to travel than sit behind a computer. Because I do that at work. Why would I want to do that all the time, for the rest of my life? I certainly don't. I think it's much more fun trying to find railroads and learn about them and watch them. And even if it's not railroads, I mean, just travel. I mean, the reason why I thought about tonight was, yeah, I got a lot on my mind, different ideas, just basically throwing it at the fan and see what sticks, but what's up here? Hey, there's Scott's. Scott, you could talk too, you know. I saw Scott's message in there. Hmm. Yeah, they either bring it out or they don't. Oops, what am I doing there? I mean, you know, it either comes if it's ready. If it's not, well, I guess it's not ready. We've been used to that for years for Run8, so it'll be ready when it's ready type thing, you know. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about it. It'll be ready when it's ready because there's really nothing that I know of that has been announced by Run8. Which, you know, leaves me with, you know, Derail Valley, which might work out fine for me. It's just not. It's cool. I like it, but I can see it becoming repetitive. But then again, maybe with more time on my hands, it might be something that I go to. My problem that I've noticed, and I notice it right away, is as far as activity goes, way much more activity obviously on a Run8. I know my base. So the majority of my content on my channel is Run8. That's what most people are coming to see. They're not there to see any other train simulator game. They're certainly not there to see space games. They're not they don't want to see any of that. Yes, I may attract a few people now and then, but that's where my base is. I know that. I don't feel trapped because of that. I don't feel obligated because of it. I'm going to do what I enjoy doing. Ultimately. Oh crap, he actually has an approach this time. So what's going on here? Why would he get a high approach for that? Oh, never mind. Forget I said that. Before he didn't even get anything but he had a red light the one time and he had a block open, but I'm looking at the wrong side there. I got few trains down the road coming. Like I said, I'm going to be here for another hour. I enjoy the night just like the day. Slow run for these freights, that's for sure. I mean, if I had the artistic side, I would certainly And I haven't given up on the idea. Like I mean, I could do stand-in assets. I've thought about doing 2D. 2D's probably going to be realistically my best bet. But is it going to be anything like this? No. Is it going to be anything like T-Rail Valley? No. It's going to be something in 2D, and it's going to be it's kind of like, okay, you have these graphic options, and you know you've seen it in something, and yet you have to scale it down because of your specs, and it's just like you feel like you're missing out on stuff. But for me, it's like this still is the best simulator out there, besides Simrail. Simrail is a good simulator, but I prefer North American over Europe just because I enjoy the switching aspects. Now, what will that be like? Honestly, I don't know much about the European shunting to really understand what to expect. They may be the first ones that really push the whole AI. As far as I know, they're going to be the ones that are going to have to do it. So, if anything, I've said all along it can be done. Well, they have an opportunity to show how it is done. I think it'll be very interesting to see how that transpires, because I think we're seeing that relatively soon, if I read the last update correctly, or the last notes. That's something that's coming pretty soon. But I haven't really been interested in Simrail. I haven't really looked into it. I suppose I should check things out. I know there has been some updates since I've last been on, but yeah, it got very repetitive and stale really quick. So, as far as Railroader, if it happens, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I haven't paid anything to it. I haven't changed any of my plans because of it. I've just kept going. But I haven't heard too many people saying what they're interested in doing, or what they're interested in. I get a lot of viewers, but I don't know. What we got here? Well, we'll see. I'll post it up to Discord. I'm not going to put you guys on a spot. The chase view, or how I'm doing the chase view, I start in the you can do the chase view. You have to put yourself into the cab, and you have to use the AWSD, holding shift, holding control, to move yourself from the position of the cab out of the cab itself. That's how it works. But the 4, like Quincy says, that'll get you. I'm not using the 4 view right now. I'm actually using the ride along, and I just move myself in. Now the mouse controls this, but everything else, you can't see it too well in the dark too much. But like I can scroll myself down, so I'm starting to tilt myself. That's Shift Q. So I got myself a little bit lower there. Oop, I see lights up there. Yep. Yeah, he's still a little ways away, I think. There he is. So, I mean, yeah, everybody wants to have fun. And there's a lot of servers out there that are more geared towards fun. I mean, yes, there's going to be some basic rules, but most of them, a lot of the more popular servers are geared towards fun. I would think. I wouldn't say they're necessarily popular, because I think Depot Plus is probably the most popular server out there now. I think it's more popular than Depot, if I recall. But I haven't caught up with their stats or year in review crap or whatever. I really haven't paid attention much to them at all. I used to, but I don't care about that anymore. That was more into seeing what they were up to as far as getting an idea of the whole multiplayer community in general. But I mean, for me personally, I want to make it easy. I want to make it easy to join. I don't worry too much about, having like a ride along and all that other crap. But I do want people who know what they're doing, at least for the most part, of running a train. So I wouldn't say it's for beginners, but there are certain trains that beginners can take. Like there's always intermodal trains that run better, etc. What I have had, one guy in particular, Switcher, for example, funny enough with his alias. Now the problem with him, he's in a different area. He's basically across the world from me. And he used to come on when I ran 24/7. He would run, I don't know if I ran 24/7 or what the hell I was doing, but I was running, I was keeping it up overnight, and he would run the latter parts of the night when I was running. Last major run that I did was with Waycross. Problem is, I'd be stuck in Waycross, he'd be stuck somewhere else, and we really didn't do much more than that. There was just too much work, and there wasn't enough bodies, and that was something that, So it could be, honestly, it could be just a pipe dream that I'm thinking right now. Northern California is a possibility. I I don't know. Sometimes in Northern California, I really don't. I mean, it's beautiful looking and all that, but I'm not much for double track, to be quite honest. And running a train in Northern California, I mean, even when I'm watching this, I mean, it's kind of relaxing, but if I was if it was late evening and I was getting tired, I was just like, I mean, it could probably put me to sleep. Especially with no meats, and yeah, okay, this guy's trailing yellows right now. Which, from a observer standpoint, it's okay. I don't have to worry about falling asleep if I'm just watching. Um, yeah, somebody's got. Let me just see this here for a second. 2.7. Oh, geez. Yeah, no wonder why. It looks like we got another one coming up. All that traffic's getting bunched up, and it's not really able to stretch itself too much. See, in this kind of situation, this is where the AI dispatcher has its weakness, because it could hold a train at one of those sidings, but it doesn't know how to. Like way back at Midas, like he doesn't even have it set up right now. Why the hell he's going down the middle track, the immigrant crap? I have no idea why he's going down that track like that, but I guess that's the switches were set that way, so he just keeps going. Whew. He's going to go through the tunnel, isn't he? It's going to meet in the tunnel. That's an interesting view. Oh, we got purpose. What about you, Scat? What are you into? You like switching. What kind of regions are you guys looking at? The other thing too is who's interested in also potentially hosting. Because if I can't run every day, which I probably wouldn't be able to, there's others that can host and take a save file. Ooh, right on a grade. Yeah, here he comes. That's cool hearing him in the background coming down. 11:18 Eastern. I'll go to midnight as I said I would. That's neat. This train's getting boring. What the hell's he honking at? Oh, Amtrak 5's right behind him. Oh, this is funny. They actually gonna let Amtrak 5 go around them? Or are they that stupid? Probably is that stupid, but, you know. I don't know how close he is either. Because I thought I heard a second one. Here, I'll check it. Can one become the conductor for an AI train? Oh, you can sit in it, like I'm kind of there, but no. That'd be kind of cool, but I've always wanted to be able to have that ability. It's kind of an idea I had with some of the ideas I had with doing my own train simulator, but I mean, kind of like a pipe dream at the moment. Yeah, save file. The settings would have to be the same as well as far as networks, or not networks. Like generating trains, industry, hump configurations if applicable. But and of course, everything would become, for me personally, everything would become, I would try it on my own first, just to see, but that's just, I'm thinking out down the road type thing. I think I would try it well in advance to see what was going on. The hell's this damn Amtrak? He's got to be, I would imagine, unless he passed me and I missed it. I would think he's coming up here. I haven't heard him, so I'll wait for the next signal. Look behind me. How far have we got? So I'm just wondering if they're smart enough to do takeovers. And we got a log jam coming up here. What the hell? Like, what's this crap? So why are we in this track then? They're letting a grain train up. Sometimes they say, I don't know. It doesn't handle very well on double track. That's the other problem. It's not so much of a big deal for this, but why the hell they're letting this train come up and not throwing him into a siding? Oh, there's our Amtrak. Like, I can't do anything of what beauty is in this simulator, but as far as operations wise, you know, I have so many different ideas, and I mean, it's better than nothing, but that's painful to watch. They're holding up 3 trains for that. And this guy just gets to hold up Amtrak 5. But then some of these sidings are all screwed up too. It's like 5,900. I don't even know. Who knows? Painful. Ugh. Yeah, but you're not technically. The brakeman seats. It's open, but you're not technically a conductor. So, as far as switching a train goes, forget that. That ain't happening. That would be kind of cool, but. Yeah, you can sit on their lap. Yeah, like I said, I'd want to like I've always tried to do. I've always wanted to try to establish something on my own first. But I'm thinking down the road. Could be a while, but yeah. Once it works, once I get it figured, number one, we got to figure out what the hell route we want to run. Like, I don't know what people, and it's not going to be up to just us here. It's going to be up to anybody who wants to give me an idea, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, this guy's just, well, at least he's writing approach signals. Yeah, this ain't looking good though. you got a flasher. That's nice. I'm not quite sure how he got that. Oh yeah, that's more than one block, that's why. But he's definitely stopped. He's like 2 control points away still. Okay. So yeah, this is what I have got. Selkirk's another one too. It's double track though. I don't like double track. San Bernardino sub is too much. I can tell you that much right now. Needle sub, don't bother. I look at needle sub, I was just like, yeah, no. So when you look at the south, well, okay, Northern California, you've got 2 switching districts, but technically those switching districts could in theory be handled by one person, worst case scenario. We're pretty certain on that. Selkirk, I'll mention Selkirk. Yeah, I won't go into Selkirk just yet. Let me go to the ones I'm more familiar with. Southeast is an interesting one. You've got one that's out of Waycross. The problem with Waycross is you've got an operation that requires multiple people, which kind of sucks. It's cool that it's there. It's just it's going to require at least 2 people on a regular basis running that just to keep it going. That includes the locals out of Waycross. I've done that before. I was doing it towards the end. Running Waycross alone is a possibility. But again, if you run Waycross alone and that's the only thing you bother switching, you miss out on all that cool stuff on the A-line. You could run the AI off of the A-line. You can spawn it, let it dispatch, let it do whatever. So that people, if they just want to run trains, they can run trains. But the whole point is we need people to do the switching because that's the only people that are going to do it. Northern California, we already been through that. Southwest. So I already mentioned about the Mojave sub. We've got a few different opportunities. Barstow's one of them as well. Barstow's a good switching district because what that does is it's a moderate hump. Obviously, it's not. None of the humps are to scale. other than Waycross. That's the only thing that comes close. So Barstow, you have to run locals out onto Cajon. You have to run locals out onto BNSF Mojave, and you have to run locals out onto Needles. That's all capable of probably one person, if they can keep it going. It's a possibility. I wouldn't want to be stuck in that position for eternity. Just like I don't want to be stuck in any position for eternity. I really want to have people who like to switch. Who, so you have more people that like to switch but don't mind doing other things as well. So that's a possibility. Like I said, San Bernardino, that's interesting, but that's just too much. You need at least 6 people for San Bernardino for sure. I would say half a dozen. It's probably a good one. Needles, I laugh at that, but that's part of the Barstow switching district. The only other, the whole subdivision is basically run out of Barstow. So it is what it is. It takes a long time, but I mean, you get the long mainline runs in there, the long locals as well. The other one for Mojave is BNSF Bakersfield. So that'll run parts of the Bakersfield sub, as well as run in and around Bakersfield all the way out to Edison. SJVR has its own switching district. UP has also still has a switching district as well. UP and SJVR can be combined out of Bakersfield. It really doesn't matter. So you can have UP Edison and still have the SJVR jobs. Again, one person. So you start it. There's other ways of doing it. There's ways of being able to bring what I call escape valves. And escape valves are, if you don't have enough people to run the industries, they just go off to a track and basically turn themselves, so the loads will become empties, the empties will become loads. It's a possibility. I prefer not to use them. I'd rather use the real thing. Cajon, you've got with the Cajon you have actually San Bernardino itself as a switching district. I guess you have West Colton, although I'm just trying to familiarize myself with that. Something tells me there's a lot missing out of that. So it's probably not the case, but there is something there. Bakersfield sub has at least 2. Well, one of them is Bakersfield, so that's kind of plays into the whole Bakersfield switching district, but you also have the Fresno switching district. And why I mention switching districts is always because in order to have the industries work, you have to be able to handle the trains that come in and out of a switching district. Once they come into the yards and they make up the locals and somebody operates the locals and does that, then everything's fine. The mainline trains can do whatever the hell they want. The AI is going to do whatever the hell it wants. So it may require intervention from now and every now and then, but it still does what it wants for the most part. See you, Robert. Trona only. I don't have Trona. Trona only, UP for... Trona only, UP for the... UP for the IC? UP for the interchange, oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Just the SGVX. Yeah. Hmm. Take a look at it. I don't think I have any save sessions in there or whatever, but there's Barstow without the tracks. Whoops. Now, of course, I would have it. Let me go back to main menu for a minute. Let's see. Bakersfield, Mojave. I don't know what this save has. It's been so long. Of course it's night. Holy crap. Trains sitting everywhere. So yeah, Mojave, you go pretty much all the way to Highland. There's industries up that way. But then again, the flyer comes in and switches that, I should say. But he still has to deal. He still has to deal with that, and then deal with Mojave. And then up to Tehachapi. I don't think I would bother with Trona. I know you like it, Scott, but see, I do like the mainline runs. I like the single track meets. I do like traffic as well. I just don't. I just don't want to manage something that, you know. I don't want the trains to become useless either. So, you know, damned if you do, damned if you didn't. Catch 22. Did it open up? Yeah, okay, it did. Wrong one. So, how many miles are we talking about here? $896. So about 130 miles or so. So how far did you say they come out? Was it to Wasco, was it? I don't know. I don't have the track maps up, but of course I don't have any trains running it, so I don't know what the hell operation-wise it might look like, but it's all bike trails. $110 miles, yeah. So yeah, Trona. Without Trona, I mean, if it was just Mojave, you got the Mojave sub, which is single track. Trona, there's what's there, but like you said, having the interchange or whatever, I personally, if I'm going Mojave, I would have Oak Creek, which isn't that far, so I always added it. I figured, yeah, hell, why not? So yeah, you do Oak Creek, but then pretty much all the industries here. I guess, yeah, you talk about doing the interchange with Thing. I don't know if I was in the middle of doing something here or what the hell that was about. So I'll see, I did the interchange there, I guess. Either that or something was left that way. But you have all these industries in here. This looks like a save that was brought in on something else. Because it doesn't look like engines I'd be running. I don't know why I have it as a world save, but I must have been running something else, because that doesn't look like a world I'd run. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh, it's new. Sweet. Gotta find all the Easter eggs now. Oh yeah, I don't have that loaded in. Can't do anything there. So anyways, yeah, I'm just puttering around here for a moment. I'm gonna wind things down. I know it's not quite midnight yet, but yeah, Oak Creek's not too bad. You're by yourself as well. But you don't go that far. So I always found Oak Creek interesting because I knew the Mojave switcher would switch it. That's why I got it. I barely ever used it, to be honest. The reason why I never got into Trona was for that very reason, was because it was more of a switching line. It was basically to extend. It was, for better, I guess more like feels more like a big huge industrial branch type thing. But it was big enough to act like you had to go a ways if you're gonna have anything. Then you have to have Trona interact. So to do that, then you put Trona involved, and now you've got two districts. You got Mojave District, and you also got a district that has to run Trona to get all that stuff, because you can't just spawn a train, although you could. I usually, when I ran Mojave, I didn't bother spawning or running the Trona train. I usually just ran the industries up that line, and that was it. I didn't even bother with spawning trains or doing anything else for that. So oh, there's plenty to do. I mean, I guess this is, how would you say this? I like, put it this way. I think the point that I'm trying to get is I don't mind switching, but I don't want to do it all the time myself. So there's going to be days where I'm going to just want to run a train, a meaningful train. I'm going to want to meet some other meaningful trains, I guess. Although a lot of the trains, how meaningful are they? I don't know. Like I said again, then it goes into Derail Valley, because for me, I see Derail Valley as the only trains that are running are the ones you got, because they're the only things that have a purpose. Railroader would be the same way. You've got enough of a main line, although it's a short line. You got enough of it. I don't know about the meets and all that other stuff. I guess you can have meets, but I find it kind of weird having all these meets on a 30-mile route or whatever. Especially if all the traffic is, either the passenger trains or the stuff coming to and from. It's kind of seems a little weird to me. I mean, Railroader you can run with as little as one to as many as you want, I guess. It's not like there's through traffic, because there isn't any. Anyways, I'm getting tired. Not an easy solution, but like I said, I'm glad I'm getting ideas out there. I just can't see purchasing Trona for myself personally, but you know, others might like that. So, but I guess that's where everybody has their different things. But no, it's just not for me. I don't know. We'll see. I'll post it around. We'll brainstorm, see if we get other people involved in the conversation, what they like to run or what they like to switch or operate, which yards they like, what lines they like, etc., and see where it goes from there. I'm not going to do it like a poll. I'm just going to do it as an open conversation, see where it goes, and take it from there. Anyways, that's it for now, guys. We'll talk to you later. Take care. See ya.